Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to jump into a really cool idea. What does it actually mean to live a life that's just full of kindness? And how can something super small, one little good thing, make a huge difference in the world? Let's dive in. So let's start with this amazing picture in our minds. Our source material tells us to think about a spring of water, one that just never ever stops flowing. It says that this is pretty much what God's love is like, a constant, fresh stream of goodness for every single person and every single thing. So just pause and think about that for a second. What if you had a fountain of kindness deep inside you that could never ever run out? Imagine that. An endless supply of goodness that you could share with literally everyone you meet. Okay, let's take a closer look at this whole idea of a spring of love, one that's always full and always flowing. The way the source explains it, this love is kind of like sunshine warming up the whole world, or like water that brings a desert back to life. It's basically the power source for all the life and all the joy in the entire universe. And here's the next part, which is so cool. When we let that love fill up our own hearts, you can't just keep it inside. It's like a beautiful smell that fills up a whole room. It just naturally flows right out of us as kindness to other people. So that's the idea, but what does it actually look like in real life? Well, the source material gives us the best example of how this kind of love turns into a life of action. This really shows you the difference, doesn't it? Jesus' life just wasn't about being comfortable or taking it easy. Nope. Everything he did, every single day, was all about helping, serving, and giving to others. His entire life was one big mission to help people. And this quote pretty much says it all. The word minister here, it just means to help or to serve. The whole point is that he came to help others, not to have everybody help him. That was his purpose. And this is so important. It wasn't just about the big, amazing miracles. Our source points out that even when he was just doing a regular job, working as a carpenter, he was still living out his mission of love and service, just in a quiet, everyday kind of way. Seeing how love can be a part of even the small, simple moments, well, that brings us to maybe the most important part of this whole thing, how we can be a spring of kindness in our own lives, right here and right now. And listen, it doesn't have to be complicated at all. We can start this very second. It can be something as simple as helping out around the house, or sharing something you have with a friend, or even just offering a nice word or being a really good listener for someone who needs to talk. But sometimes, we might think, am I really good enough to make a difference? Do I need some kind of superpower or special talent? It's a totally fair question. And the answer is a big, loud, happy nope. The source is super clear on this. You don't have to wait for some big, special moment or have some amazing talent. Anyone, and I mean anyone, including you, can be a source of kindness. In fact, check this out. This is directly from our source material. It says that even the humblest and poorest people can be the ones who start these incredible waves of blessing. All you have to do is be willing to share that little bit of kindness you have. And that right there brings us to the most exciting part. Let's look at what actually happens when you decide to let that kindness flow. It all starts right here with just one small, quiet choice. To be helpful, to be kind, to do one good thing for someone else. And that one little act, it can be like dropping a tiny pebble into a big, calm pond. It starts a ripple of goodness that just spreads out, wider and deeper than you can even imagine. You might never even know how many people your one kind act ended up helping. And the results are just amazing. The source explains that when we work to help other people, it actually blesses us back. You start to feel more happy and peaceful. You feel closer to God. Your own heart gets stronger, and you are literally helping to make the world a better place for everyone. So here's the big takeaway. You have the power to be a spring of kindness. You don't have to wait. You can start this very second. So the only real question is, what kind of ripple are you going to start today?